There have been a lot of weird messages sent out by the coaching staff of the Raiders and quarterback Derek Carr, and we're still confused and trying to figure out who and what exactly is he talking about. Derek Carr, in a press conference today, reacted to his earlier press conference that happened on Sunday when he broke down.
And what you saw from me was just frustration from some of the things that had to be addressed. Didn't think they had to be addressed, but we did. I'm gonna do my best today during this. I know everyone wants to ask about that because I was very upset, obviously, but I'm gonna do my best to just move on to the next game.
And Carr is saying it's just the years of frustration that just kind of came up and he wants to move on from it and just move forward. Oh, don't look at this crazy thing that happened here. Oh, look. Oh, don't pay attention to his reaction at this press conference when we've never seen him in his 9-year career react that way after a loss. And remember, Josh McDaniels said he couldn't speak to what Derek Carr was talking about when Derek Carr was saying, oh, there's some things inside the building that need to be addressed. Need to talk about it man to man when Derek Carr was breaking down at the press conference.
I think you'd have to ask him, more specifically, what he was or wasn't referring to. I've talked to Derek. I mean, I can't speak to what he was referring to specifically. I don't have any issue with the effort or, competition that I saw on the field yesterday at all.
Josh McDaniels says he doesn't have a problem with any effort of any players on the team. And then you have Derek Carr still today saying that he talked about this thing that's happening that we don't know what's happening man to man, and it went well.
And certain things that were said and addressed and handled like men. I'm proud of the way we handled it, honestly.
But he also gave Josh McDaniels a little cover. He gave him an out by saying it's in the locker room. It's in an area where there are no coaches around and there are no coaches around, kind of trying to shield protection from Josh McDaniels being a part of any of this Derek Carr criticism of what's happening inside the locker room.
When we're in the locker room, in certain areas, there's no coaches, but no coaches were around where we were when that happened.
But the real big story is Mark Davis giving the nod to Josh McDaniels, saying he's going to be the coach for the future, probably all 4 years of his contract. And Derek Carr was asked about this today, saying if that makes him feel secure, knowing there's going to be some stable coaching. And of course, yes, Derek Carr says this is great. He doesn't want to go through multiple coaches. And obviously, he's showing some support for his coaches, but it still doesn't resolve this odd thing where Derek Carr says there's this problem, implying there's a problem with effort in the locker room. Josh McDaniels has no problem with any effort of any of the players in the locker room. And so some people thought maybe Derek Carr with his emotional press conference after the game, is he talking about Darren Waller? Vincent Bosnior of the Las Vegas Review-Journal was saying how there's growing frustration among the Raiders over Darren Waller. He says there's a source, but when you look at it, there's no real source that he names. And Derek Carr in the press conference kind of debunked that he's talking about any injured player.
No. When it comes to injuries, I've been through injuries, and there's some that you can play through and there's some that you can't do anything about. I was not talking about anybody like that. For sure.
And it doesn't make sense if Derek Carr in the press conference is talking about how we put our bodies through so much just to end up losing, and he wishes everybody in the building felt the same way about this place. To me, it just doesn't make sense that he's talking about another injured player, but we don't know exactly what he is talking about. He's shielding all blame away from Darren Waller, all blame from the coaches. So the question is, what is this issue that's happening in the building? Is everybody being straight up about what it is? But in my opinion, it still shows there's a disconnect between the coach and the quarterback. Of Josh McDaniels is saying he can't speak to what Derek Carr is talking about. Then you have Rich Eisen saying that Derek Carr has been shattered by the Raiders. And you have his brother, Darren Carr, responding to this, saying he's not shattered. He's pissed off. And when you're pissed off, sometimes some emotions come out. So it's just weird to see McDaniel saying, oh, that's great that Derek Carr is this passionate, that he cares so much, that he's reacting this way in a press conference. But to me, I think there's something going on. That doesn't just happen because somebody's passionate about the game. That doesn't just happen because somebody wants a couple other players to just show a little more effort. All that we really know is Mark Davis said publicly, Josh McDaniels is here to stay. Derek Carr has a 1-year out in his contract. The language from Mark Davis, Josh McDaniels, Rome is not built in a day, talking about needing to change culture even though the culture seemed fine last year. It seems like the Raiders are looking to the future even though there was high expectations this year, and Derek Carr knows that if Josh McDaniels is the future, his best chance of remaining a Raider for life is to impress Josh McDaniels for the rest of this year. The question is, will the coaching staff help Derek Carr be put in a position to have success this year, or does the current number 2 overall draft pick status seem more appealing for the Las Vegas Raiders? Time will tell, and we'll figure out who these players are that Derek Carr is talking about if the Raiders make some changes around him, or maybe this offseason we'll find out if Derek Carr and Josh McDaniels aren't exactly being upfront about what's happening behind the scenes, and we'll see if there's more to the story than just 9 years of frustration from losing, or some players who are not the highest paid players on the team, by the way, not given enough effort. If you want more content, check out this other video right here and subscribe to this channel for more Raiders content. My name is WiFiWillie. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.